Welcome everybody, it's Evelyn from Twin Flames 3344. This is a Divine Masculine Twin Flame read. It's a 7-deck read. It is a general read for the Divine Masculine, so it will affect the Divine Masculine within the Divine Feminine as well. And if it doesn't resonate with you, then don't force it to fit. This is for a lot of people, and there may be a few messages that don't apply to you. Today is March 31st, 2020, and the 31 is the 5 of Wands, so that's that conflict, fighting, but also games and play, the quest. It can be like a sham performance as well. So it's just all in the perception, and that is going to come up again regarding the virus today, which I want to get into in just a second. And the day adds up to 3811, which is the Queen of Cups. And 11 is also a very spiritual number, very visionary. And so we have the 5 of Wands and the Queen of Cups, which are kind of at odds with each other. The last thing the Queen of Cups wants to do is be involved in the 5 of Wands, which has to do with conflict. So it's how does the Queen of Cups, the kind, intuitive, loving person, deal with conflict, okay? So the read for the SIRIAN Starseed deck, that was cut and dealt at 10:01 to 2 today. The 10 is the Wheel of Fortune, and 1 and 2, of course, are the Magician and the High Priestess. So that's when it was cut, and it was finished. And before I finished it, I was getting "damn the torpedoes," and I don't know why. It's something I never say. And it came up yesterday, but it came up again today. Damn the torpedoes. And there may be some frustration there about things that keep falling down. You have to keep picking them up again. And the read ended at 10:27 to 28, which is, again, the Wheel of Fortune. And then 27 to 28 are the Ace of Wands and the 2 of Wands. So new passion, inspiration, and then the 2 of Wands, which is about choosing a path, but also about the Twin Flames energy. The major arcana here are the Lovers, the Hanging Man, Indigo, Tower, the Indigo. Well, Lovers, Hanging Man, and Indigo were all in the read. Hanging Man, Indigo is the Magician in this deck. Before the read, we had Reason, which is the Emperor. And after the read, because I do pull a few cards on either side, depending on what my guidance is, and after the read was the Tower, the Star, and the Hermit. So altogether, we had 7 major arcana here. There were 4 Wands, 2 Cups, and 2 Swords. There were no Pentacles here at all. So mostly Wands today. A lot of action, desire, physical activity, that kind of thing. Being inspired, creative. And the court cards. There was a bunch of court cards. We had the Knight of Cups, the King of Swords, the King of Wands, the Page of Swords, and the Knight of Wands. The Queen of Swords also came up before the read. So again, there's 2 Kings, 2 Knights, and 2 Pages. So there may be a lot of kids involved, or just a lot of messages involved, which makes sense because everyone's indoors right now doing messages. And then the Queen of Swords is before the read. We have, as far as the code line for me, there was no numerology card on that line today. We just had the numbers. We had double 9s and double 10s, first of all. And then the number 34 was the only double number that came up here. And it was so funny, as soon as I had the 34 underlined, the birds started tweeting outside, and it was very apparent. So I wrote down the time, and it was 10:34 as I wrote 34. So the 8 of Wands is very significant. That has to do with a lot of fast-paced communications, whether it's positive or negative, depending on which direction it is. And feelings, the arrows of love, the energetic exchange between the twins. It involves all of that. So we double 9s, which is all about compassion, double 10s, which is that very high vibration, to keep that high vibration up. So again, the birds were tweeting. And then during the read, you'll hear me bring up the birds again. They're making themselves apparent because it's spring. And the birds, they go, woo, woo. I don't know what kind of bird that is, but they came up twice during the read, as well as a cardinal. I saw a cardinal in my tree fly from the tree in my front yard down toward the garden. And let's see what else. Oh, before I get started, one of the headers that came up had to do with the coronavirus, so I wanted to get this out, real quick before I start my thing. And I have no real opinions one way or the other. My father was a doctor. I worked at University of Penn for 25 years. I'm very used to being around this kind of thing. And, being in the healthcare industry, it's not something, we worry about because it's something we deal with every day. You just do the practical thing. You put your gloves and your mask on if you need to, protect yourself. So I just wanted to bring it up because the header just said coronavirus in the U.S., the latest map and case count. And this was from the NewYorkTimes.com. So the first thing is the fearmongers, right? So where was that first one? They were comparing on 3/29/2020, 123,804 people or cases within the states and the 4 U.S. territories were tested, and 3,000 died. And they compared it to that being more than how many people died on 9/11, which I can't even believe they brought that up as a comparison. Now listen to the statistics. This is from WebMD. The average normal flu cases per year, and mind you, these are flu cases where we have vaccines for all these flus, all right? The average flu cases per year in the U.S. only is 200,000, and 3,000 to 49,000 will die. This is normal flu. Up to 49,000 people will die every year from the normal flu, and this is with all the vaccines that we have. From the CDC.gov, the disease burden of the influenza, 9 million and U.S. is going to be low because we take care of ourselves. In other countries, the numbers are going to be higher. 9 million to 45 million illnesses from influenza, 14,000 to 810,000 hospitalizations, and between 12,000 and 61,000 deaths annually since 2010. And of course, they're not going to have record of all the flus because a lot of people stay home with the flu. I never went in, and I can speak from having had the flu because I had the flu. I was really, really sick for about 2 weeks. I was on my deathbed. I blew the lining out of my nose. I tried to go back to work after 2 weeks, and I passed out in the shower. I had the flu. Your bones ache, and you feel like you're going to die. I literally blew the lining out of my nose, so I understand what the flu is. Okay? So there's 12,000 to 61,000 deaths annually since 2010. They list the flu as 5% to 20% of the entire population will get the flu. 1 to 4 days for symptoms to show, contagious 1 day before the symptoms, and then 5 to 10 days after. On 3/29/2020, I told you those statistics. And then all right, and I told you the statistics for corona, that 3,000 people have died in the U.S. All right, and we've known about this for months. It's not just this week. It didn't just happen this week. All right, the virus has been spreading. We know that this flu virus spreads faster than other flus. Okay, so I just want you to gain perspective. It's not about my opinion saying there's no flu and you're not going to die. There is a flu, and there's going to be people who die. All of the flus cause death. Okay. So I'm just trying to make sure everyone has perspective on this, and my opinion is that it is blown out of proportion. There's nothing wrong with protecting yourself and wearing masks if you need to when you go out amongst other people, but I'm just telling you the statistics of the normal flu again. 9 million to 45 million illnesses from the flu, 14,000 to 810,000 hospitalizations every year, and between 12,000 and 61,000 deaths annually since 2010, okay? 5 to 20%. So think about this, 20% of the entire population of the world, How many billions, right? So you can see how many people actually have the flu every year. So when they bring up this fear-mongering statistics in the news, don't let it affect you. Don't let it put you into fear. You be practical about this like anything else, and things are going to be okay. All right. I called my nurse friend who had just been out on disability for a while, and she had just been back to work at the VA, and that it's normal for them. They do what they're supposed to do to prevent it as much as possible, and then you go on with your day. Okay. All right, so I'm not making light of anybody's issues with family members who have had issues or have passed from the flu. I'm just stating some statistics that are from the medical sites online, okay? just so you have a perspective of what this really is. And don't pay attention to any of the fear-mongering that's coming in. So, the code line here. Number 9 was the only number associated with the code line today, which has to do with compassion and selflessness and endings. And let's see here. We have the honorable man, like in Tao and Confucianism, we have the TI and the TE. The TI is the source, the God-like energy, and the TE is that noble man that's like God, right? That's very honorable, and I always forget the word that they use. But then the name T comes up again too, which is funny because my friend's nickname is T. But the honorable man coming up regarding Jesus, right? Because Jesus was like the angelic man, right? And the masculine is the template of Jesus. So it's about the energy of the divine masculine toggling up the honorable man, right? Half angel, half man, taking the high road. Han comes up, like Han Solo comes up all the time, defining the divine masculine. Han is one of two, and they're co-pilots, co-Hans, right? So the two co-pilots being one of two, not half of one, but one of two, perhaps drunk, foolish, or crazy right now, and the 9 of the hermit, or the collective consciousness of Christ, or just the collective, the unity consciousness, regarding the lovers. Instead of Christmas, the lovers mass. Okay, so the same kind of thing. And to see the I am presence, to toggle up and see your true self. Your true self is what you are before you come into the human body. Half human, half angel. Jesus takes the high road, Jesus being the template of the divine masculine. It has nothing to do with Christianity here, okay? And then the aha moment, and I brought up HA yesterday, being the headache and the heartache. And also being the H is 8. It's also the 4s put together like 2 chairs stacked on top of each other. They perfect fit, right? It's the complement between 2, which is also paralleling the dance of the masculine and feminine between themselves, within themselves and between themselves. And the A being like the vaginal canal with the hymen blocking it off, okay? So the ha, or the aha moment came up, and now here in the code line we have HA, which is also 81, which is also in the Divine Triangle numerology book, the end of karma at age 81. So half human, half angel, Jesus takes the high road. With this ha moment, do you choose your head or your heart? Your headache or your heartache? It's both an ache, no matter which way you look at it. And end karma. After all, the divine masculine is one of 2, or somebody could be dealing with mastectomy as well. But again, drunkenness or the fool, right, being crazy. The hermit's emotions and the collective consciousness, the Christ consciousness, which is the unity consciousness, and also the parallel to the lover's mass as opposed to Christmas, and to see the I am presence that is above you. Be your higher self. Also, Sea Isle was coming up here, which is a beach town in New Jersey. So also the number 10 comes up with fate and the high vibration and taking the high road. Han, or the masculine, and Han and Jesus are both coming up as different aspects of the masculine. Han rejecting, so literally masculines may be rejecting Jesus, because if the divine masculine is defined as the Jesus template, those who don't believe in Jesus may have an aversion to what we're talking about. So it's coming up as Han rejecting Jesus or unity consciousness, which is what it is, like cutting off it's like cutting off his left breast, right? One of 2, you know, they're both part of him. The drunk fool, the hermit of emotion, the Neptune of the sea, the lover's mass. And I was just getting lover's MD. So that may be Maryland too. Well, maybe it's Ocean City. We have an Ocean City here, but there's another Ocean City in Ocean City, Maryland. And then Virginia is for lovers, comes up here too. But to see and use the ocean as that example of the deep emotions that come up with the unity consciousness and the I am presence only, I only. Something came up about what you watch too as far as movies, because even if you're not provoked by it and you're present when you're watching a movie, you know, like the apocalyptical things and war movies, all that kind of stuff. Even if you're being present when you watch it so that you don't feed into the story, you're still taking that energy up to the collective consciousness and adding to the power of it manifesting. So just keep that in mind, okay? The other stuff that came up online was Ma May, which is a YouTube video of a song. It means more corn. 6/1609. When I looked up the exact translation for Ma May, one of the commenters said, "Oh," like that exclamation, like "ah," like the "a" or the "ha" that I just talked about yesterday, but "O" came up, and then it said, "I so should have known that, ha ha." So there's the H-A, which is just so funny it came up. The I in presence of the I in the chakra system, and then the ha ha of the headache or heartache. And them saying, "Oh," with the exclamation. So it was all defining the stuff that I just brought up around HA, or 81. Another header came up was E si fuera ella. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. I'm not a Spanish person. I took French in school. It just means, and if it was her, and that was 3/26/18. Zhang Hun, his last name is Hyun Song. And then the coronavirus in the US thing came up that I told you about already. Then AACN Essentials came up, Bachelorette, Masters, DNP, and Clinical. That was, again, AACN from aacnnursing.org, which is funny. I just brought up nursing. I wasn't thinking of that. The Verge came up, verge.com. Monster Hunt 2, which is 2018. 9 Inch Nails came up, as well as The Minute. I heard my first love story from Goodreads, and that was 3/25/2020. Most of these are from YouTube, unless I say otherwise. OnTheMarket.com came up, as well as Master's Son, which is Korean TV, at viki.com, viki.com. And then back to the code line. A tent comes up, tent high, which can reference arousal as well. Tent high, Hans, ha. And so that could be someone at judo or karate practice as well. The moment of support of the karmic, perhaps there's a karmic around him who drinks, or maybe he hangs out with drinking fools. Also, Mass Tifo is coming up here. And the UN. The UN is the chakra system northeast of, I was getting like the sea at Italy. The northeast of Italy. The UN was coming up. And then the Lover's Mass and the Divine Feminine's I Am Presence, because when the masculine toggles up, he's with the Divine Feminine because she is his higher self and he hers. So as soon as I finished writing this and I always look up my lyrics under AZ lyrics, was from Les Mis, God on high. I'm sure you know that song. Hear my prayer in my need. You have always been there. He is young, he's afraid. Let him rest, heaven blessed, bring him home. He's like the son I might have known if God had granted me a son. The summers die one by one, how soon they fly, on, and I am old and will be gone. So bring him peace, bring him joy. You can take, you can give. Let him be, let him live. If I die, let me die. Let him live. Bring him home. It was actually making me want to cry. Spirit's connecting with me. As we start this read at the Three of Wands reversed at 11:26, which is Justice and the Page of Wands. Three of Wands reversed here, and below that is Reason or Emperor reversed there. The Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords is upright. And then the Ten of Cups here, and then the Nine of Wands there. So looking back, going back, living in the past, after no reason or rhyme, the Emperor reversed out of control, and the Queen of Swords speaking her truth about unhappiness or the end of a family or emotional cycle. And I thought I heard the cat meowing then, but it was very faint at 11:30, which is Justice and the Four of Wands. The home or the union, energy, stability, structure, all of that. The Nine of Wands, wounded warrior, deeply wounded but not giving up. The Two of Cups and the Hermit reversed, connection, crazy, over-isolating, and out of their mind, or with mental illness, or cut off, or Hermit turns back on partners to focus light elsewhere, on tempering the beast, perhaps. Good news, success, attention, and riding high, post-war PTSD, without peace, and the King of Cups reversed, emotionally detached from partner and unhappy family, or end of an emotional cycle, hung over the Hermit's, who's reversed, their head. Never dead. And the King of Cups, of course, can be a water sign, but doesn't have to be, but just someone who's emotionally detached, or it could be someone also who's over-emotional or manipulative, or even someone who has a drinking issue, okay? So the King of Cups reversed is coming up here. The Queen of Pentacles reversed here in a breakup, in the aftermath of the Queen of Pentacles reversed, with a breakup or no affection or just ungrounded or loss of money. Journeyman is ahead, so returns to powerlessness and dependence or financial drains. A loss of money, power, and independence. And the Divine Masculine Lovers reversed. Hermit reversed faces the Knight of Cups offering love, but without his light, speaking down to them, without looking them in the eye. Out in the cold again, naturally. And that was coming up from Alone Again, naturally. Okay. So the Knight of Cups upright, put aside, asunder, weak in ego death over and over again, and reliving the past. The Three of Cups group in avoiding disaster, and powerless to the Queen of Pentacles reversed, returning from journey, in breakup of lovers or no affection, and the Divine Masculine Hermit reversed, fails inspection. The Knight of Cups upright offering love to the Three of Pentacles reversed, group or workplace or place of co-creation, not appreciating the love given, while business with issues in need of help, money, or opportunity, or a new project, or child needs help with homework, or one who never learns is hung out to dry, or hanging out at work with nothing to do, and money is not coming in. And so I got the coding too from one of the piles, and so after I whittled the numbers down, it came out to 51 times 69. So that's the King of Swords and the Ace of Pentacles. The King of Swords and then a new life or a new infusion of money. And if you actually multiply them, they equal 3519, which is the Wounded Warrior and the Sun. So in exile, destitution, injury or illnesses, left out in the cold, weak and or Leo out of control or living in the past. The Knight of Pentacles out offering help. The High Priestess reversed in need of using their intuition or their secret is out. Reaping rewards, daydreaming of one day being debt-free or not sharing, and inequity, debt, scammed, or no practical balance. Hook in tail or in the train, ice castles melting upon constant gardener in need of watering. No money for fertilizer at 1155, which is Justice and the Ace of Swords, which is Excalibur and the Truth. The truth shall set you free. I was just getting that now to say. 1157 is Justice and the Three of Swords. The honeymoon comes up as, it's time to get away. It doesn't mean it's necessarily a honeymoon, but it's the bliss of time away. So masculines could be trying to get away, even if it's just a road trip. Worth waiting for is beneath that. The Fool is up and out, and so is the Devil, too. The snake at the Fool's heels, and the Devil giving up sex for Lent, perhaps. A surprise, a shock with the Queen of Pentacles reversed, with loving memories or lovebirds in the past. Ignoring dessert when only focused on love, on each other. So somebody's thinking back to memories when they actually paid attention to each other, and now maybe, that someone's just realizing that there's nothing between them because they used to pay attention to them and now they don't at all. So the Fool walking a fine line with a snake ready to trip them up and off the cliff, and the Devil marking his or her territory, his plant, his weed, but getting his penis out of the way just in case, holding it in the right hand, the control arm, while taking a whiz outside, or Aries free to leap, and hairy, horny Capricorn is free to whiz and free to go to nude parties as long as he detaches from his manhood, submissive, does what he's told. Juggling surprise while the Queen of Pentacles lost in love, in time and in the past. Memories of the park bench in France and pigeon stories and lovebirds all around, old pictures found. The Divine Masculine no longer begging or running in with the smell of food cooking, or no longer cooking for them. The Queen of Pentacles reversed in mourning or after mastectomy, or remembering way back when he used to cook or surprise her. Free to leap or deal with the Devil, or shocked he's been juggling with twin from the past. Or the Divine Masculine makes a meal for her, excited to have some sex, but the Queen of Pentacles reversed can't get over the memories of the past. Communication comes up as number 33, which is the Christ vibration, but it's also the Seven of Wands. standing up for yourself without being defensive. And then beneath that is nature, which is 74. And 74 is that 6 of Pentacles, being perfectly balanced, which nature is. The worst is over with no Bambi rescue, and the Empress reversed with the world upside down in a split, dealing with lies and or cutting through the BS, or just suffering in silence, and the Emperor now inspired to new passion. The bliss state hasn't hit yet, only the end. Taurus reversed and Pisces reversed, split, lying, and in need of clarity, or cutting through that BS to cut to the chase. Rapunzel in her tower, and the Emperor turned on by pain, like an alarm system. Like an alarm system with energetic protection, like laser alarm system around them, pointing down his finger like down boy, controlling his passion. The funhouse illusions, the trick of the eye or the trick of the trade, blue and white silk with gold accents, silks perhaps the divine feminine or another female around him bought to prepare her own design or her own wedding dress, or someone obsessed with curtain materials or dresses or State of the Union addresses. Wise old owl visits Rapunzel at the window, or the fat cat at the slivery moon, reminding her of who she is. Red, white, and blue quilt sections and plates from your grandparents, needing a bed rail or crib rail or Trump Oriental Express, and voila, ignited again from pushing the divine feminine down into her emotional limits. Caesar again takes over the empire at 1227, which is the Hangman and the Ace of Wands. So it's definitely coming up as the Emperor gets ignited by pain, and also the connection and energy between the masculine and feminine. When he pushes her to her emotional limits, then he gets, aroused off of that, or gets a high off of it. But now that the feminine knows how to come right back to 0 point, it doesn't last. So he's understanding the energetic connection. So at 1228 is the Hangman, and the 28 is the Two of Wands, choosing a path. By keeping down the world and the women in his life, he feeds off their energy and bliss of coming down off the pain, a high. Liar, liar, pants on fire. The Empress reversed, losing control of her ring, incomplete, and her world upside down in a split, lies, and videotapes, using suffering and silence, and the Emperor ignited by flame, passion, and drive. His flame drives him. New passion and looking back or going back, weak in ego death or Leo out of control, no longer pacifying the beast. The fix doesn't work anymore. Not sharing or in debt, scammed, or just the inequity with twin communication, denied access, still got a lot to make up for energetically. The recent past is the Nine of Cups reversed, dissatisfied that the Knight of Cups offers love to an ailing business or issues at work and not getting along, or with financial losses, in need of help, money, or opportunity, a new project, or hanging out with kids or co-workers, doing nothing or never do anything unless the masculine is cracking the whip, like just people around doing nothing unless he doesn't make them. Child with learning struggles, or divine masculine who never learns, hanging out, letting others give him their energy, or employees who don't. Taking advantage of others' kindness and love, which then reflects right back onto you, the law of nature, and the foundation being the Hanging Man, Capricorn wise and seeing new perspectives, but frustrated and turned down or lost their erection or unable to conceive or conceptualize of what he can't see or use logic to figure out. The King of Pentacles reversed, ungrounded or greedy or loss of money and status, not sleeping and rising above, or got sleep and now awake and coming out. Dreams, healing, healer, heal thyself, trying to control sexual energy in waking dream state, holding on loosely, grounding, saving, being moderate, or Aquarius turned him down, knowing their worth, keeping some savings separate from him, or Aquarius was wise and with their money when the King of Pentacles reversed was actually spending. The central energy is the Knight of Cups with tidal wave of emotion over a coffee cup, and ego got the best of him, ignoring what he saw as boring offers from God or source, not working for him, standing up for self, causing more conflict, competition in games, let the games begin. The Hierophant upright is tradition, the patriarchal competition for riches and the superficial pursuit of happiness at 1249, which is the Hangman and the Nine of Cups to get your wish card, but also can be arrogance coming up there as well. All about luxury and what you can do for me. How can you make my life easier? All right, so Board of Love, back to the fight, quest, the game, or game quest, and back to the marriage, the religion, the establishment, the societal norms, someone else to tell you how to be or what to do, or a Taurus. Challenged by the Lovers reversed, breakup or just no affection, Scrooge being all about the coin, floating, not working now, as the Queen of Swords speaks about it. The King of Swords reversed, not in his truth, or negative self-talk, lying, verbally abusive, or just the silent treatment and grieving loss, regret, turning their back on the Ten of Pentacles family or business or legacy, who's impatient, or fallen angel from grace. Justice, divorce, Libra, truth and balance, while the Queen of Swords is upright, connected to the Devil and or Capricorn waving goodbye in bliss. Pleased to get rid of her and get the bliss from the tears that she cried. But she bounces right back, so his high doesn't last. No big love at work as justice prevails in love, reaping rewards of karmic ties, the loss of funds, and not patient, Ten of Pentacles family or business or legacy, or impatiently waking to the devil in him and trying to surround the divine feminine to control her. So there's a lot of Capricorn devil energy that was showing, just surrounding both the masculine and the feminine, but the masculine also his own shadow side, as well as the feminine too. But it was really coming up as whatever dark karmic energies would come in to surround the masculine and feminine both to prevent them from their mission, okay? So that was definitely coming up as a lot of dark energies around both of them, actually. The Ten of Cups reversed, Devil, assuring no emotional satisfaction. The Devil and our Capricorn surrounding the divine feminine and divine masculine together, the union in order to drain them and use their energy. The Ten of Pentacles controlling with money, and the Ten of Cups reversed, a group of dissatisfied family emotions and or customers, causing conflict and fights to harvest energy as reaping rewards of the constant gardener receiving the Knight of Swords truth without flinching, on the outside anyway, but what counts is the energy and the intent. So it really doesn't matter how calm or arrogant you look on the outside if it's not true peace, love, and devotion, patience, and faith. No peace here with twins in separation and heartbroken. At 108 is the Magician and the Strength card. Now is the Indigo reversed. No crystal offer, no big love at work. The Queen of Cups sunshine is back to being loving and happy with kids in separation, putting the load right on me. What is that song? Put the load right on me. All right, so that was coming up. Put the load right on me. Carrying the weight of the world through breakup or without affection, sharing sexual third energy with others. The Emperor reversed without affection and out of control or in ego death, powerless and choking on his words, indecisive, dependent, or with draining dependence, deliberating forever in order to take from him the energy. So Emperor reversed and Sovereign reversed comes up here, not answering the call, insecure and manipulating, inauthentically, kindness only works and lasts in your favor if it's sincere and with true intent at 114, which is the Emperor, the Magician, and the 14 is the Temperance card, being patient. Destined to reap rewards of karmic females in your life, the King of Swords reversed, impatient, karmic, and the Ten of Pentacles family or business gives directives to cut the divine feminine off or third-party influences. And by the way, the masculine's coming up as the King of Wands in this read. He sees himself as the King of Wands anyway. The King of Swords reversed is above him, so I don't know if that's an alter ego of him or someone who's around him, it could be like a cutthroat lawyer or just somebody who lies, somebody who will lie to defend them, or someone who keeps them that way, right? So maybe someone he lives with, a friend or a partner or a brother who, you know who guys want the guy around so they can party with him all the time. It's kind of get that feeling where someone's using the masculine so, you know, they can stay, you know, in their player ways, that kind of thing. So it depends. It's going to be different for everybody, but So there's a Sag female fallen angel, drinker with attitude, or potion maker, refusing to meditate. So some people, some of the masculines may be trying to get some of the family to meditate, or they just won't wake up. The world is upside down and destined in the patriarchal fall. Or Libra, Pisces reversed, and Taurus on opposite ends of the world. And this was at 119, the Magician and the Sun. And that's when the first woo-woo bird came up. Woo-woo! So that came up right there. Again, the fall, destined and patriarchal fall, or Libra, Pisces reversed, and Taurus on opposite ends of the world, or the cycle is incomplete. Taurus, Libra, and King of Swords reversed, wounded warrior, and the aftermath of sudden drinking, or white kiss, or hook of death, heated debates, arguments, or communication and travel delays, or completely cut off. Sagittarius reversed, Scorpio reversed, devils surrounding the divine masculine, throwing themselves at him, sexual and monetary favors, food and affection he can't resist, dumping all their emotions out on him, pushing him to his emotional limits after he pushed the divine feminine to hers. Negative energies from Scorpio and Sagittarius, Capricorn devil pushing their bodies on the divine masculine. And then I was getting, and she pours herself on me. And then also love rain on me was coming up. The masculine needs to stand up to these manipulating you, to self-serve, not caring about your desires or your true intentions, as coming together to talk, which is not an option. And the messenger of truth then rushes in with another triggering announcement. Cycle over of family unhappiness, the divine masculine injured and out in the cold, the empress reversed, suffering in silence, yet a new passion and growth is here as they stop hurting each other, needing to learn from each other. She inspired to do the dance, and he reaping rewards from the Knight of Swords rushing in with the truth, that they will have no peace as long as the twins are in separation. And for some, this could be their children who are in separation from them as well. So soon as the King of Swords reversed, home and deception, after saying adios to the Queen of Swords in a message or speaking to achieve the bliss state. Pain in his back instead of pain in his neck, he's calling her pain in his back. Removed one at a time, the swords, one by one. Looking back at an offer of new life, time, money, or energy, for stolen goods or intellectual property, from insecure magician reversed, or looking back and paying a runner at work to investigate or steal back their tools, or paying someone off to walk away. So again, this is coming off as some kind of payoff, whether it's illegal or immoral, it could be, but also can just be a guilt payoff, like so that you have then the upper hand, right? So it's like the tit for tat stuff that's going on between the masculine and feminine, just as far as hurt feelings. So looking back at an offer of new life, time, money, or energy to, or for stolen goods or intellectual property from insecure magician reversed, or looking back and paying a runner at work to investigate someone, and that can just be a PI as well, or stealing back their tools that someone took from them before, or paying someone off to walk away. The Page of Swords upright may be up to the plate or took a swing, and the prisoner of issues at work, third party or financial loss, making it very uncomfortable to be there, looking back at what was paid to return it to the insecure person with no tools to cope with anxiety issues, but to take cheap shots. The king, and so the masculine may feel that about the divine feminine. The King of Swords reversed, home and deception, looking back, and uncomfortable with emotions, getting them back by returning their payments, or perhaps things they gave to them. At 144, which is the 144, it's the magician, and the 44 of the Four of Cups. Grounding and integrating and mastering the receiving of love. And of course, it's the references the 144,000 and the 2x2s of the 72, which is 144. And right at 144, I look up and the squirrel's nibbling away in the flower pot. You know how you eat when you're emotional, right? Well, that was coming up as the mask, and the squirrel was like, I've never seen him like that before, because the squirrel always comes back by my window on my little porch there to get into my flower pots. And he was digging through that flower pot. I don't know if he buried some nuts there, but he was just chomping away for a good 5 minutes. And he finally just looked up at me. It was really funny. So that was at 144. At 146, he took a breath and looked up at me. And 46 is the Six of Cups, and that's like the twins or the children in the garden. And the Divine Masculine eating his feelings. He sees himself as the King of Wands shaman here, upright, and Libra energy is on that space. Uncomfortable energies of unhappiness and dissatisfaction, dumping all emotions, all attachments. No option but to go with the flow, to let destiny take its place, or flow. With the Queen of Wands reversed, coming together with group, or Queen of Wands reversed, finding joy in socializing. Engagement comes up here, make the effort, and past life relationship for the masculine. Just about how people will get back from the hurtness to come back to the coming together in joy. So he's talking about the Queen of Wands reversed, finding joy in socializing or coming together with him. All right, and that's the King and Queen of Wands. He's upright. The Queen of Wands is reversed. But he's coming up as dumping all of his cups out. And then a separate energy on the King of Wands is the energy about no options, but destiny to straighten out, right? When destiny comes in, when divine timing comes in, the Queen of Wands reversed can then come back together in joy with the King of Wands. So that's his perspective, how he sees himself. But we have engagement, like I said, which is taking something to the next level, making the effort in past life relationships. You have known each other before. No options, unable to implement path at this time, until destined Queen of Wands reversed comes together in joy, and until the King of Wands comes out from uncomfortable feelings and dissatisfaction to also coming together in joy. Around him, or how he is seen, is the Four of Wands upright, home and stability. No affection or breakup with Cancer or lack of affection is what drives him at home. With clingy Queen of Pentacles reversed, always on his case, making him work harder. No affection with Cancer and or clingy Scorpio, Queen of Pentacles reversed, or home with Gemini reversed and Cancer upright and Scorpio reversed, and Queen of Pentacles reversed Earth sign, or lack of Cancer love is what drives him, and the Queen of Pentacles reversed is the death of him, or dead tired anyway, or Scorpio reversed and Gemini reversed and Cancer Earth sign reversed. The masculine needs to clear blocks regarding the Page of Swords, which has to do with news and messages, or perhaps a child who likes to talk. Falling short, player, or holding back desires with the Page of Cups with a message of love. The Magician's reverse, which also can be a child, because it comes up in this deck, it's the Indigo child, but it is like the Magician. So the Indigo reversed, insecure and without tools, can be manipulative as well. Anxiety issues, about play or get played. So this is the perspective of the masculine. So, you know, some people who get really hurt in their life then decide they either are the player or they get played. So this is where the masculine becomes the player, right? So that's their MO, right? The Magician reversed, the insecure magician, manipulative, without the tools, anxiety issues about play or get played. Don't let love in, especially not innocent love, the Page of Cups type of love, right? Because that's the type of love that can most hurt you, right? Because it's pure. So the three things that came up the most for the masculine here is patience, domestic harmony, and happy ending. The Three of Swords upright and the Five of Swords upright in separation and heartbreak, and strumming my pain with his fingers, cutting out the casual sex and flirtations, twins in separation, and the Knight of Wands reversed, player, insecure and falling short, fell off the wagon or fell off the horse, seeing the need to stop hurting each other with fighting and sex, using life force in a negative way, reaping rewards of conflicts and exes and casual makeup sex, no family happiness, no date night, out in the cold, only new passion in order to heal wounds, reaping the messenger of truth announcements with no peaceful place to go, while twins in separation or kids are away from their parents at this time. The Knight of Wands reversed, who can also, these can all be children, the Knights and Pages can also be children in any way I present this, okay? The Knight of Wands reversed with news or message that sets him free or her. The Knight of Wands reversed, player, star, in the aftermath of climbing out of hell to see the light of hermit put out or doused with no light. Star or Aquarius inspired to juggle, perform, act, balance, or dance. Keep it up in the air at 226, which is the High Priestess and the Page of Wands inspired. but keeping it up in the air so they don't have to stop, or in other words, be still and feel what's actually inside of them at 227, the High Priestess and the Ace of Wands again. Pushing off the truth, but gets presented anyway to release all the burdens, the confessions, forced into submission without a leg to stand on. Inspired to dance or perform and tell the truth to help others release their wounds and their burdens, unload secrets which kept are toxic. And again, strumming my pain with his fingers came up. Falling short or holding back desire, the Star or Aquarius dousing the flame for fame or for an Aquarius in the aftermath of lightning strike, afraid of the light and going back down to the dungeon for all to blow over. So think about that in the twister or storm or the lightning storm, and going down the hatch like in the Wizard of Oz to protect yourself, going back inside, which is what's happened right now with the state of emergency. And someone's storing a lot of groceries down there in the basement. The Hermit reversed over isolating or dumping all burdens and coming out, knowing and keeping to self, or blind and refusing to see the twins and kids in prison, weak in ego death, or Leo out of control, controlling them, dumping emotional attachments, perhaps a yard sale, all that no longer serves, the King of Wands on top of the world, or at least in charge of the yard sale, with child labor. And that's just supposed to be a little humor there. But three of Wands reversed, in a blast from the past, after the Emperor reversed and the Queen of Swords upright, end an emotional cycle of victim mentality, but not without compassion. So it's not to be mean to people or to each other or people who are vulnerable, right? Because those with victim mentality are often in vulnerable states. But it's about having compassion for them and teaching them how to help themselves. Okay, it's not about kicking them out in the street. Unless they use you over and over again, then you can kick them out in the street, because they need to learn to take care of themselves. So at 239 is the High Priestess, and the 39 is the Knight of Cups. A red cardinal just flew down from the tree to the garden right there. And of course the red cardinal is like the cardinal because they travel alone. And remember, with victim mentality, you can't have the victim without the savior mentality. So again, expecting someone to save you, but then again, the savior, do they get into their ego and have that God complex? Okay, so it goes both ways. It's both an issue. Extremes of any kind are the issue. It's about moderation and staying at 0 point, okay, within the vortex. So the red cardinal just flew down to the garden there. And also I saw woodpeckers and blues out as well. Looking back at dissatisfaction, unhappiness with arousal or getting off, inspiration, passion, and weak in need of courage, as the hanging man, or relating to Jesus, just brought up, and Capricorn energy offers love to indigo reversed, the insecure and manipulative, those without the tools. And also Gemini comes up there. And again, here's the Jesus template of the crowds who end up hanging him, you know, who all wanted his attention. And here's the masculine, again, this time of year at Easter, this always plays out as the Jesus and Mary Magdalene template, the roles that they played. The challenge being the breakup, the lack of affection, the no lover. The King of Wands shaman and the King of Swords reversed players, or falling short on energy, or holding back true desires, or shaman and cutthroat lawyer, or liar, friend, or partner, whoever they are, use their prowess of stardom with the Knight of Wands reversed, player, insecure, manipulator in the aftermath of injuries, unable to work or disabled, vulnerable, preying on mental illness, or not disclosing their own anxiety issues. Home with a message. And all these things, like the Knight of Wands can just be a child who's acting like that as well, like a teen or 20s child for sure. And then the indigo and the Page of Swords can be younger children as well. We have the Knight of Cups upright in the middle of the reed, which also can be a child, but also can reference the masculine. We have the masculine here, home with a message of the Page of Swords, upright child, or Knight of Wands reversed, player. Falling short, holding back desires, or insecure indigo without tools. An Aquarius upright, Sag reversed, Gemini or Virgo reversed, and Scorpio reversed energies here. At 3 o'clock, which is then the Empress or Gaia, really backed up with source energy, and then the bird came out again, woo, woo. Looking back, The Hanging Man hanging out, and the King of Wands shaman, home or union, unhappy or dissatisfied with the Knight of Cups offering love, challenged by breakup or lack of affection, or unable to receive affection due to their prior wounds. The King of Swords reversed could be a father who was verbally abusive to their child, and insecure indigo shown up by his player brother or partner. So these can be wounds from childhood as well. Start healing. The star is here with healing and dreaming in the aftermath of dumping responsibilities and burdens and over-isolating, and then coming out at 303, which is 2 Empresses energy, with some source energy buffer between them, or the space between, the quantum leap, the 0 point, the vortex. At 312, which is the Empress and the Hangman, the Fool. Oh, I'm sorry, that's... Yeah, I'm sorry, that was the end of the read, actually, at 303. Okay, so I'm going to pull a few oracle cards for you guys. I know that was a lot to take in. 5109 right now. 51 is the King of Swords, and 9 is the Hermit, which often comes up as the masculine and the feminine, or they can both be representative of the masculine. So let's first do the Kipper deck and see what comes up. So everybody take a deep breath. For the best and highest good of all those concerned, what do we need to know? What do we need to learn? Let's clear again all negative energies, all dark energies, all viral energies across all dimensions of time, space, matter, and realities for the highest good of all those concerned, and fill that empty space with only beautiful divine love and diamond crystalline light, and so it is. So from the Kipper deck, what is our advice? And that just fell out. There's your journey. The bags are packed. I'm ready to go. I'm standing here outside your door. I hate to wake you up to say goodbye. Okay, so this is coming up. The journey and sudden wealth. Okay, so 777's here, which is hitting the jackpot as well. So something might have changed all of a sudden, or goes in the other direction, because we have wealth and then we have despair. Okay, so it could be the masculine referencing their journey on the twin flame journey of, right, going from wealth to nothing and despair and the death. All right, that could be the end, the case closed, letting go, right, surrendering, the final surrender, which is in death, but in any kind of ending, the final surrender, that it's really over. And the Lovers and the bad health. Because then this could be ascension symptoms, it can be love sickness, there can be any kind of illness here, okay? Just bad health, working themselves to death, not taking care of themselves in a marriage, and a message coming in, okay, of official capacity. The underlying energy here is the pathway again. So again, it's all about the journey and the pathway, right? And stay on path and keep the beauty within. All right, there may be some legal, or this can just be doing taxes as well, any kind of legal paperwork, or it could be court as well for some, right? There may be a gift that came in. It may have been inheritance or just a literal gift right now. But it has to be sorted out, okay? And this is after the masculine lost, all right? This is them walking away from a lot of money, it seems like, in this connection here. After being concerned, some kind of high honor and concerns. This could be the masculine or someone he's associated with who may be in the public eye, maybe an official person. Walking away from all that, there may have been illegal or immoral stuff that he wasn't okay with and had to walk away with in order to receive the gift. There may be some court that happens first, and then it's about going on path. And let's see what else we have from the animal deck. Whoops. The cat's wanting to fall on the floor. shuffling here for you guys. All right, let's see. For the best and highest good of all is concerned, what do we need to know? What do we need to learn? Today's the last day of March. It's April Fool's tomorrow. What is the message here for everybody? What do we need to know? What's our takeaway from this read? All right, so 3 cards came out. The bottom of the deck is the Dreamer 0, which can be referenced as the Fool, but for me the Fool is the 22. Shepherd Puppy, you are starting a new adventure. Run free and take a leap of faith, all right? So this could be some freedom. So you see, he looks like he's bridging also, right? It's like the masculine running across the bridge, not even realizing he's doing it. All right, we have the 7 of Summer, and look at all the kitties, how cute. The Maine Coon Kitten, it's time to stop procrastinating and make a decision so that you can move forward with a priority. If you need to do more research, then do so. But don't overthink the situation, listen to your heart. Okay? And this, you could be dealing with a group, or you could have a big family. You'd have a lot of kids who are waiting for you to make a decision. Like, these could be all the kids ready to go back to school. All right, actually it's 4 cards. I thought it was 3. There's 4 here, which is the Emperor. All right, we have 2, which is the High Priestess, the Owl, and the Owl came up in the read today in the window of the Feminine. It is time to pause and reflect, not to take action. Trust in your spiritual gifts, as nothing is hidden from your divine intuition. Okay, so the Owl is coming in as a messenger, and he was at the Divine Feminine's window. Okay, and he's saying, fly free, you know, allow things to happen naturally. When you see the 2 pillars on either side, this is like that dog bridging over the waters here. Okay, don't worry, everything's happening in divine timing in the way it's supposed to. Okay, Ace of Winter, Panda, implementation of your brilliant new idea may get off to a rocky start, but keep going. The challenges will help you refine your plan and reshape your goals into something even better. Okay, and the Bamboo is for good luck, which is my neighbor. I have an old woman used to live behind me. I don't think she's there anymore. It's a long time ago. But she thought it would be a blessing to me to send her bamboo over into the yard. So now we have like bamboo all over the place. Not just my yard, but like the whole corner where the phone pole is. All right, let's see here. So the last one is the Moon, number 18, which is the Moon. And it's the Lynx. It's important to trust your intuition. Even if you're unsure of what's happening, all will be revealed soon, so worry is unnecessary. So again, it's referencing to have faith. You know, even if, like, you know, I cried my eyes out yesterday, just getting right back to be fine, okay? And be trusting and have faith. We have the cat, the group of cats, and the owl. And the cat was showing up my back deck yesterday and the day before. The owl was in the read today, and the butterflies. And then we have the panda bear of winter and the lynx, which are very unusual animals to see around here, right? And there's each of them have, this one has the moon, the slivery moon, which is more towards the new moon. And then this is showing more toward the full moon, as the full moon shines its light on the lynx, okay? So it's giving you some timelines here. As the bamboo grows very quickly, because it's the beginning of spring, use your intuition. Even though you don't know what's happening, have faith that all will play out as it's supposed to be. Okay, so High Priestess and the Moon. There's very feminine energy here. And read the space between, because we have summer and winter. It's all about the spring, which is referencing the High Priestess and the Moon. And the underlying energy of the dreamer, chasing butterflies and being free. Right? There's the Fool's backpack over here. Put it down to run and have fun. And that often the Fool comes up with their loyal friend. So it could be a second picture, right? There's actually a person here in this, right? There's someone with a doggy. It's like the feminine allowing the masculine to run free for a bit, right? Let him do what he wants. Nothing you can do anyway. So it's just about loving people unconditionally. It has to do with allowing them to be free to be themselves, even if it hurts your feelings. There's nothing you can do about it. Right? Each has their own guidance system. so this is the healing, the energy deck. Energy deck. All right. What is our guidance from the energy deck? And that one to pull right out. The 48, which is the 8 of Cups. Walking away within, the Angel of Balance. All right, so just allowing yourself to be balanced and have faith. Maybe look at, maybe if you have an hourglass, to just look at it. And maybe there's something in it that you've never seen before. Just things around in your normal environment. We have the pyramids back there too. The 3 pyramids are showing. Walking away and within. Back to the time when the pyramids were there in Akashic Records. If I'm getting time in a bottle from Jim Croce. If I could save time in a bottle, if only wishes come true, I'd save every day like a treasure, and then again I would spend them with you. But there never seems to be enough time to do the things you want to do. Once you find them, again, seem to go that low. But you get the idea. That energy's coming up. Okay, the other cards that came up are the World, right? Taking a broader perspective. 29 is the 3 of Wands, being present to the moment and realizing how much goes on around the world in each moment, right? So not to just see your own perspective, but the grand perspective as well. And then we have the Contract, which is number 6 of the Lovers. Don't forget, you are twins. You have a contract between you. You are each other. You're connected. There's no way around it. But this is all about justice and balance again, and being blind has to do with having faith. It's very much the same colors too. You notice it's all of the, like the dirt desert colors over here, and the blues. The blues and kind of taupey colors, taupey browns. And it's all about balance. You know, like we have the hourglass, which is about balance. We have the scales, which is about balance. And then we have the World hanging in the sky, gravitational balance. Okay? Think how powerful that is. The different perspectives here. So it's kind of cool. And you notice they're staying on the end of a dock or a pier. Under the boardwalk. I was just getting that, but I was just getting something else too. Standing on the end. There's a song that starts out that way, I think. But I'm definitely getting under the boardwalk as well. Like, you know, remembering back to your glory days and what's actually been going on around the world when you were under the boardwalk, right? And being an adult now and actually seeing all of that. This came out too, Envy. So watch the Envy too. 20 is the Judgment card. Okay. And even don't judge yourself either. If feelings come up, allow the feelings. See where they're coming from your childhood or wherever. If you need to do past life regression, do past life regression to see where these wounds are coming from so you can get them out. Once you bring a subconscious wound into your consciousness, you're aware of it, you can then release it not only for yourself, but your whole family, your whole lineage. It releases it for your children as well. Okay, the underlying energy is the 3, the blossoming abundance. It's springtime. Very much about that energy, and the 3 is Gaia as well. So just really enjoy the fact that spring is here. You know, plant your seeds and enjoy the weather. Take walks. Take a drive. Whatever you like. What else do we have here? Yeah, all right. So Metatron. What does Metatron want to tell us? Metatron, you're up. What is your advice for the Divine Masculine today? For Metatron. Take a deep breath, everybody. Metatron, what is your advice? What is your advice, Metatron? Metatron. Okay, we've got a couple cards here. We have passion, love for life, and this is right in line with the read today. We had a lot about the Ace of Wands today and the Emperor's, how he gets ignited. And then we have the Tree of Life, travel on, and very much Metatron, and is very much about like stoplights, the tree of life, and travel on. 32 is the journey. The first card was 25, by the way. That's the Knight of Wands, which we ended up with the Knight of Wands reversed, which is that player energy. It's not a good energy, but the tree of life is 32, which is the Six of Wands, success and victory and good news coming in, right? Leading the way. Okay. And but there are indicators of when to go and when to stop and when to slow down. So it's saying follow your guidance and travel on. And the wings are in orange and yellow, so there may be a focus here on the sacral and the solar plexus chakras. Having confidence and using your creative energies. Authentic to yourself, who are you? This is checking in with your internal self, your little child. 46 is the Six of Cups, the kids in the garden. Who are you? So you might want to meditate, see your little your child, like what you look like when you're little, no matter what age it is for you. You can pick what you want and visualize your child and what are they doing? What do they want to tell you? Ask them what they need to feel loved, see what comes up for you. Communication, speak up and be heard. Number 5 is the Hierophant, message in a bottle. Perhaps like a message in a conch shell. Going to the beach, just relaxing, taking a drive. And the last one that wants to be seen is the voice. That's coming up a lot. 0 point and the vortex. Retreat, rest, pause. Right? Find your balance. 48, again, is the walking away and within. Okay? It's all about taking that time out and just take a pause and be okay. So the underlying energy is love. 6, relationships and harmony, and the rose. Really beautiful in the heart. Okay? Allow the rose to unfold. Thank you, Metatron. Is there anything else? I think that's enough for you guys for one day. What time is it? I have to show you the cards still. Okay. All right, 3 of Flames, underlying energy, recent past, the 9 of Cups or chalices. The foundation here under these cards, the Hanging Man. Okay. And the central energy is that Knight of Cups upright, and the Lovers reversed is the challenge. Up here is the rest of the underlying energies with that Ace of Wands, and look at the Emperor and the Empress below there in that bunch of cards. And then crowning in the now moment is the Indigo Child, reversed energy as well there with the Emperor reversed. Scrolling across the bridge is the Master of Orbs reversed. And then the masculine seeing himself as the King of Wands, upright, the Shaman energy. Around him or how he's seen is the 4 of Flames, the Home, which is upright. The blocks that he has to work on has to do with the Seeker of Orbs or the Page of Swords, or a child. And then the Knight of Wands reversed is the last card there. Above that is the Star, the Tower reversed, the 10 of Wands reversed. And then at the top is the Hermit reversed. And then we end up there with the King of Wands again, which is the way the masculine sees himself. So he feels like he's back on top of his game today. And look at the color of the cards. We have, again, the yellow and orange of the sacral and solar plexus, as well as the blue, which has to do with the throat chakra and speaking your truth. Underlying energies were the heart and the gold of the Christ light and the communication that needs to be had. Okay. So make sure you drink your water, get your rest, get your joy, get your love. Be good to yourselves, guys. And rise and be loved, guys.